Hello dears, another day, another video. Today is going to be a very productive day. As always, I started my day by waking up and spending some time with my son, and now I'm feeding him breakfast. It is puree carrot, what he's eating today, and he's a good boy. He don't make any fuss. It was a very exciting day today because I'll show you in a little bit. We found some ducklings in our pool. So basically our pool is open, and we went outside, and I see these black little things that keep jumping out in and out of the water, dive in and dive out. At the beginning I thought they were frogs. Then I looked closer and I realized that they were small ducklings, baby ducklings. And our pool water level is not that high, so I think they came down with their mom and they went to the water. They swam for a while and they couldn't get out anymore because the pool level is quite low and the ducklings are really small, so there was no way for them to get out. Meanwhile, I think the mom got tired of swimming, or maybe tried to get them out and they couldn't. The mother just left. I'm sorry for the background noise. My son is up and he's making a little bit of fuss. Anyways, like I was saying, they couldn't get out of the pool, and we were wondering how long they've been in the pool. And since we were in the process of cleaning the pool, there was so much chemical in there. There is algicide and there is chlorine, but the outside temperature is so hot. I feel like the first source of water the ducklings found, when the mama duck found, they just dove into it. So I told my husband to get them out of the pool because we don't know how long they've been in there. So he, one by one, he took the net and he took all the ducklings out of the pool. And after taking them out, I took them inside my home and I washed them very thoroughly with clean water. So they get rid of all the chemicals that got attached to their fur, or I don't know how to say it. How do you say it, babe? The things that duck have on top of them. The feathers, yes, the feathers. And I gave them the food that my chicken feed, the same food that my chicken have, but I wet them, so they're like almost like a porridge. And I was wishing that they eat a little bit of it because they were so tired after we took them out of the water. They're all just sitting down, and I feel like they were just resting because God knows how long they've been swimming in the pool. We saw some notification in our camera, the motion camera outside, and we did not see because they were so small in the swimming pool. We saw some movement, but we didn't know what it was. And once we went out to check on our chicken, we found these beautiful ducklings. I think there were 9 or 10 of them. I'm not exactly sure how many they were. So our plan was to see if their mom gonna come back to take them. If not, we were gonna call the wildlife conservation and see what they can do about it to help them, if they can take them in. I'll wash them. I hope they dry out soon, and once they're dry, I hope they're just sleeping. I don't know what they're doing. I hope they're okay. I'm just kind of worried about them, that's all. Yeah. Anyway, I bought some grocery today. I put a lot of them away already. Actually, my husband did. So the one that I have out, I'll show you what I bought. I bought this Ziploc bag. I always freeze stuff in the fridge, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and I usually, write down what it is and when I stored it, so I know exactly what I have. Because you can put everything in the freezer and say, I'll remember what it is, but you never do. Then I bought the Keurig grass-fed butter, Irish butter, unsalted, the best butter in the world. Some sour cream, because I'm going to make street corn tonight for dinner. So I bought some queso fresco as well. And we're in the Mexican store, so I bought this peanut candy. I have very sweet memory with this. My mom used to go to fairs sometime, and I really didn't like to go outside much when I was in Italy, or like outdoor where there are a lot of people. My mom used to go to the fair with my little cousin and my dad, and she always used to buy me this, my favorite candy. It's like sugar wrapped peanuts. Then my husband wanted to try this. These are mango candies with chili. It's Mexican candy, and we love this. And I never tried this kind, and we want to see how it is, if it's good or not. Bought some ricotta cheese. I'm gonna try to make some spinach and ricotta ravioli, some cooking wine, oyster sauce, and some canned tuna. This is canned tuna in water. I don't like it. I like canned tuna in oil. You can eat it with bread and sandwich, but if it's in water, it was cheap. I just bought it because I can make soup and stew with this. So I bought 2 cans of tuna. And from the Mexican store, I bought lime. Then I bought some tomatillos. Oh, focus. There you go. Some tomatillos, some red tomato because I'm gonna make green and red salsa. And then I bought some rice vinegar and this Thai dipping sauce. It's delicious, and you can eat it with everything: chicken wings, fried, anything fried. And bought some cornstarch because in every Chinese cuisine you must have cornstarch. And then an amazing find, we found a whole box of taro. We call it in Bangla kochurmukhi. And the people in the store didn't know what it was, and there was no price. So I was like, how much is it? And they were like, what is it? I'm like, this is a vegetable. It's like a starchy vegetable, almost like potato. And they had to call someone to find out, and they didn't know what it was. They're like, okay, just give us $2. So for $2, we bought all this taro. I'm going to peel and freeze all of this, and I'm going to give some to my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a vegetarian, and she loved taro. So yeah, it was a good buy today. So yesterday you guys saw that I bought the white wipes for my baby from Sam's Club, and now I'm putting them away. I took out the previous one, they were unscented one, and I'm gonna put them in the front. So we're gonna use those first. I don't want any white wipes to dry out, even though some of them we had for months, like 3-4 months, and none of them dried out yet. I'm putting all the all the white wipes in order, so every time we need it we can just take it out from this drawer. In this cabinet that I have in my son's room, I put all his white wipes on the bottom and the diapers on the top. So like I said, we went to the Asian grocery store and I bought tomatillo, and because we're gonna do some carne asada on the grill and make some tacos, so I'm gonna make some homemade green and red salsa. So this is the tomatillo. You take out the husk. They look like tomatoes, and after you take off the husk, it's kind of sticky feeling on top of them. So you have to wash them very well before you cook with them. When they're green, they have a fruity taste to it. They're a little sour, a little sweet. If you want to make green salsa, the tomatillo are the best. I tried to make green salsa with green tomato, but they don't come out as good or authentic. After washing the tomatillo, I'm going to put them stem side down on the iron skil. The skil actually is very hot and sizzling, so I'm going to put all the tomatillo there one by one. As you can see, in our house we eat Mexican food very often. It's one of our favorite food. It's one of my favorite food because it's one of the only food in America which is kind of spicy, because I love spicy food. I cut some big chunk of onion. It's half of a big white onion, and I had a little leftover of red onion, so I just put it in there to roast. And next to it I also put like 12-13 big cloves of garlic. So for like 10 to 12 minutes, I'm going to roast all the ingredient. Remember, you have to have it in a high heat on the skillet. So not only are they gonna cook fast, they also gonna have a very roasty taste to them. Once I'm done roasting all the tomatillo, onion, and garlic, I'm going to blend it together in a blender. So I put all the ingredients in there, and I also to that added cilantro, fresh cilantro, a big bunch of it. I'm going to cut it and add it to the mixture. And after that, to that I'm also going to add a splash of sugar, and this is the dry red chili. This is very spicy, so add accordingly how much spice you want on your salsa. We usually like our salsa to be quite spicy, so I added maybe 10 or 12. And I'm adding all the green tomatillo one by one inside the blender. Once you add all the tomatillo, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. So if you add that, you don't need to add any salt, because like I said all the time, the chicken bouillon, it's very salty. And on the blender, like I said, I'm going to also add 1 tablespoon of sugar, brown sugar, to balance the sourness and the spiciness of every other ingredient. I'm blending everything in the food chop option, so it's not completely smooth. It's gonna be a little on the chunky side, so you're gonna have a little bit of consistency when you add it on your food. So everything is ready. Just when it's ready, you taste for the flavor, for the salt and the sugar, of course. Mine was perfect, and now I'm going to add it in a jar. Because it's quite sour, you can add it in a jar and refrigerate it for about a month. This is how long it lasted me, but you always check inside the smell and the color of it, how your one look like. But for me, I can easily store it for a month inside my refrigerator, and if you put it in a freezer, you can preserve it for 2 years. Now I'm making the salsa rosa, which is the red sauce, and for that I'm using big Roma tomatoes. Same method for the red salsa, the same method that you use for your green salsa. You're gonna add all the ingredients, which is onion, red tomato, and garlic in a very heavy and hot skillet, and you're going to roast everything. Meanwhile, on the side, I had some watermelon in the fridge, and I decided to make some watermelon juice. And of course, I had not realized that my jug on the side filled up to the brim, and it leaked everywhere. Extra work for me as usual. Accident happen in the kitchen all the time. I'm going to clean everything, of course. Everything is super sticky, so I have to clean everything with soap to get rid of the stickiness, or in summer always ant come in. So yeah, I poured the juice. This was first time using my juicer. My husband was playing with my son in the playpen, so I thought to make him a cup of cold juice because the watermelon was in the fridge, and it was very sweet and he loved it. So different thing between the green salsa and the red salsa, that after blending the red salsa, I'm going to pour the red salsa in the iron skillet, in the cast iron, and before I pour it in, I heat up the pan very, very hot, scorching hot, like almost smoking. And once the salsa is blended and you pour it in the heavy hot skillet, it's gonna have a very interesting and roasted taste to it. So this is the difference method you make the red salsa and the green salsa. And once it's like sizzling and you mix it for like a few times, also your red salsa is ready. Of course, before jarring it, you have to remember to taste for the salt or the sugar, whatever you prefer. But remember, they are not supposed to be sweet. You just put the sugar to balance the sourness. So do not put a lot of sugar to make this sauce sweet, because it's not supposed to be sweet. This is a savory sauce. And just like that, my salsa, red salsa and green salsa are ready. And tomorrow's video, if everything goes well, I'm gonna show you how we made our grilled carne asada and our carne asada tacos. Mine lacked a little bit of salt, so I added a little bit of salt in the end. And of course, my Roma tomatoes were not very acidic, so to that I'm going to add lime. I think I added a whole lime in it. I'm sorry, my baby is getting sleepy. I'm giving voiceover like really late at night. It's almost 1. So after finishing this video, I'm gonna put him to sleep. And these are my both salsa. Thank you for watching another video. Until next time, everyone, please stay safe.